An abandoned giant baby was adopted by fishermen by the sea, even though he was still just an infant. It took 5 people to sew one of his diapers. His 8-foot-long socks needed at least 9 people to make. When he finished lunch and wanted to rest, a professional sleep team would come to soothe him. They'd stay until he fell asleep. Before long, the giant baby reached school age. He came to the classroom with the other kids. Because of his huge size, he could only sit outside and listen to class. But he was really smart. He could always answer the teacher's questions on the blackboard first. The teacher was always startled by his big movements, but over time got used to the giant's way of attending class. After school, the kids would run to the nearby pond to swim. The children invited the giant to join them. He excitedly took off his clothes and jumped into the water just like the other kids. His classmates quickly swam back to shore, or they might get crushed, but they didn't dislike him for it. Instead, they used his body as a water park. On Christmas Day, the villagers prepared a giant axe for him. The giant loved it. He easily swung the axe and chopped down the big trees in front of him, stacking them neatly into logs. Everyone in the village got to live in wooden houses because of him. After that, the giant became a lumberjack, helping people chop wood. What would take others a year to finish, he could complete in just 1 minute. Slowly, the surrounding towns became wealthy because of him. The giant saw he was no longer needed, so he decided to head north. He walked alone through the heavy snow. When it got too cold, he'd start a fire with wood. Suddenly, he heard a low moan nearby. Pushing through the fog, he found a frozen wild buffalo lying on the ground. He tapped the buffalo, but it didn't respond, so he threw it onto the fire, planning to eat it. Surprisingly, the frozen buffalo started to thaw and miraculously came back to life. It affectionately licked the man's chin. The two became inseparable partners. The giant wanted to create a better home for humanity. He hoped the villagers downstream could also enjoy the river's nourishment, so he moved massive boulders and dug through the riverbed, allowing lumber to be transported downstream. To make sure the wood flowed smoothly, the giant used the buffalo's strength to straighten the riverbed. From then on, lumber could flow straight to the port without obstacles. The maritime economy flourished because of this, until one day a merchant came to sell his hydraulic chainsaw. He found a big tree to demonstrate for the villagers. The giant happened to walk by and saw this. The giant wasn't convinced. They decided to have a logging competition. The loser would have to leave automatically when the referee gave the signal. Both went all out at full speed in a dead heat. Meanwhile, the buffalo was competing against a steam train. When the competition ended, both piles of lumber were over 300 feet high, but after the referee measured, the merchant's lumber pile was actually 3 feet taller. The giant and buffalo could only quietly leave the village.